Good job, Melissa. For those that normally see Joey doing this, Melissa is our communication director, and I think she did an okay job. Maybe need a little more practice. So welcome to the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for Tuesday, July the 8th. We're going to call the roll. Alderman Barnhill.
Present.
Alderman Blanton.
Here.
Alderman Caesar.
Here.
Alderman Peterson.
Here.
Alderman Berger.
Present.
Alderman Brown.
Present.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Present.
Alderman Baggett.
Present.
And the mayor's here also, so everybody's here. The next item on the agenda is the invocation. I'd ask Alderman Barnhill if he would give us the invocation, and I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you please stand.
Would you bow, please? Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight in prayer, thanking you for this great nation that we live in, for all the many freedoms that we enjoy. We give you thanks for these freedoms. We also want to make sure that we thank our first responders, our police, our fire, for protection that we have in the freedoms that we enjoy. We know there's been some tragedies in Texas. We pray for those people there that are suffering and suffering very much. We ask your prayers for us as aldermen. Give us the spiritual wisdom and guidance as we make decisions that ultimately will affect the direction in which the city will grow. This prayer we offer in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you may be seated. Next is setting the agenda. Is there anyone who wants to modify or change the order of the agenda, or I would look for a motion to approve it as published.
Move to approve as published. Second.
Appropriate motion, second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Now is an opportunity for citizen comments. I think, would you look at those that just were put up there? Are they all for, okay, great. I have no citizen comments for items other than those on the agenda, which we'll get to shortly. Are there any communications from the Williamson County Commissions? I noticed Betsy Hester was here somewhere. Yeah, good. Welcome. And so we'll go to approval of the minutes, which is for the June 24th, 2025 work session, Board of Mayor and Alderman. Entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Alderman Peterson, seconded by Alderman Caesar. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll now go to a proclamation, and I'll ask our special guest to come up with me. We have a post in the middle of the room. I think probably be easier to put you right here. Please. Now, before I read the proclamation, I'm going to ask you each to introduce yourself.
Awesome.
Now, I know you for a long time.
My name's Amy Safel, and I'm the executive director of Able Youth, which is a wheelchair sports and independent nonprofit in town students with physical disabilities.
I'm Emmeline Johnson, and I'm here at Able Youth.
I'm Rhonda Clark, and I'm the owner of Able and Ready Transportation Incorporated and a resident of Franklin finally for almost a year now.
Well, listen up for this proclamation. Whereas on July 26, 1990, the American with Disabilities Act was signed into law with strong bipartisan support, representing a historic commitment to the values of liberty, individual dignity, and equal opportunity for millions of Americans living with disabilities. Whereas this legislation built upon important protections already established by the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, particularly Section 504 and the Education for All Handicapped Children Act of 1975, now known as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. which ensures that every child has the right to quality education tailored to their needs regardless of ability. And whereas these laws reflect deeply held principles shared by Tennesseans that every individual is created with purpose, that families should be supported in raising their children with care and respect, and that communities thrive when everyone is given the opportunity to contribute. Whereas the American Disabilities Act and the protections that preceded it have empowered people with disabilities to live, learn, and work with greater independence, fostering a culture of inclusion and productivity that strengthens our schools, our businesses, and our community. And whereas the City of Franklin recognizes that preserving and advancing the ideals of the ADA, the IDEA, and Section 504 requires ongoing local leadership, sound governance, and a shared commitment to ensuring access and opportunity for every citizen. Now, therefore, I, Dr. Ken Moore, Mayor of the City of Franklin, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim the 26th of July, 2025 as Americans with Disabilities Act 35th Anniversary Day. So,
You want to just do it this way?
What, you wanna do it this way?
Everyone doesn't have to turn around, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, this
Oh.
is my service dog, Ice the Third.
well, welcome Ice the Third. Sure.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you.
We'll now go to the, we're going to have some miscellaneous reports, and I'm going to call on Mr. Stuckey as I call up a new male model who was just recognized tonight at the work session, Ryan Schuman.
Officer Schuman, please come forward. So Ryan, who is a male model, you just look at him. It exudes it. And I don't know how many million views he got us on TikTok one time, but he does great work. Ryan has served the city of Franklin as a police officer for 25 years. In the last several years as our public affairs officer, and a very regular presence at our Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings and Planning Commission meetings to help be part of those meetings and keep everybody safe and just support us all. He has just been a wonderful officer, wonderful public servant. You look at his great smile and his engaging personality, and you couldn't think of a better person to serve in a public affairs officer role, as well as just serving the community. I think about the trust he has helped us build, the connections he has helped made, and the care he shows. And so we're grateful for you. We wish you the best in the next chapter of your life. And you must have been hired at about 8 years old. I can't believe you've served for 25 years. And you're also an Air Force veteran as well. So we just thank you for your service to our country, but especially your service to the citizens of Franklin for the last 25 years. So thank you.
Okay, let's go to the consent agenda, and all items on the consent agenda are deemed, thank you, are considered to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body. They will be approved as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. We're looking at items number 24. Wow, that's never happened. Just one item.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve.
Second.
Second, Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Well, now, before we go to old business, we'll announce that items 5 through 10 have been requested to be deferred to the August 12th Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, but we'll continue to consider each item tonight and have the public hearing. I think what I will do, if there's no opposition from the board, all of these,
Mayor Moore, 11 is also related to Hillview, specifically around the interlocal agreement, so that would probably make sense to defer with the others. 12, you could defer, or there's some discussion about whether the board wanted to pursue that or not. I may leave that to you all, but 11 is definitely a
Okay.
companion to the other items.
okay, well, thanks for pointing that out. So we'll consider deferral of 5 through 11, and then we will consider item number 12. I plan on, if there's no opposition from the board, having all the public speakers on the very first public hearing, and then if they want to come back for the other public hearings, they're welcome to. They're also welcome to leave, not that we're asking you to. So this is a public hearing, consideration of resolution 2025-24, adopting a plan of services for the annexation of property located west of Hillview Lane and north of Coleman Road at 1247 Hillview Lane by the city of Franklin, Tennessee. So I assume Joey's, are you going to come up? Do you want to say anything, Joey?
Just reconfirming that the applicant has requested deferral to the August 12th meeting.
Thank you.
Anything else, any other questions, I'm happy to come back and answer.
So we're going to give each person 90 seconds. We're going to start with the following, and if you will line up behind the podium: Christina Garner, Rob Dodson, Barry Beasley, Wendy Atchison, Emily McGidd, Jean Lovell, and Angela Lovell are in the first tranche. Come right up.
You're ready. Hey, Christina Garner, 1159 Hillview Lane. Not a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. I'd rather be at home barbecuing with my kids, but here we are. Just want to state again, infrastructure's not there. Please don't destroy our road. We like where we live. Please don't do it. I think anybody who's been to our road knows that it's beautiful and you can't rebuild it in a day. Once you cut it down, it's gone, it's ruined, can't build it back. And again, I was stuck on Columbia Road yesterday for, I think it was like a 1-car crash, and I was there for several minutes. The cop had to come or whatever, and the infrastructure's just not there for another few hundred houses to be back there, plus the hotel, plus whatever shopping situation is that we want to have back there. And I would just like to quickly say that I don't appreciate, we had been complimented, the neighbors on Hillview Lane had been complimented about how polite we have been through this whole awful process, and I don't really appreciate being called by the developer names at the last meeting, and I would just like to note that. I don't know if anybody else on our street was offended. I was offended. It's my house. I live there. And because I don't want some billion-dollar developer to come tear it down and then insult me because I'm upset that you want to come tear it up, I don't think it's cool. So just wanted to put that out there. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I would rather you not clap, and I'll continue to hammer you down if you continue to clap. So go ahead, Ms. Beasley.
Hi, I'm Barry Beasley, President and CEO of the Heritage Foundation. I once stood at this very podium asking our city leaders and developers that when development affects the historic character of our city, the Heritage Foundation of Williamson County would have a seat at the table. I want to commend Boyle for engaging in meaningful dialogue with Hillview Lane residents and including the Heritage Foundation in these conversations. I applaud and appreciate their good faith effort in trying to reach a solution. We're all too familiar with the tough balancing act of aligning development and preservation. Good dialogue doesn't always result in a mutual solution. Sometimes we simply agree to disagree. Many of these heritage roads trace back to early settlement routes from roads or even indigenous trails. Our tree canopies are part of a living historical landscape in our community. Data from Visit Franklin supports the fact that our historic character, beauty, and charm are driving forces behind tourism, economic vitality, and the desire for so many companies to make this place their home. Generations of families call this home because we have proactively protected these resources for more than 57 years. Our historic Main Street didn't just materialize. It was intentionally and painstakingly preserved, protected, and created by so many people in this community. Just like historic buildings, once heritage roads are gone, they can never return. Today, they need our advocacy. Hillview Lane is part of our collective history. It defines the rural character and visual identity of Williamson County, tying current generations to the land and its past. It's as symbolic as the courthouse, Main Street, the big red barn draped in the American flag on Hillsborough Road, the Ellis Grain Towers, stacked
You'll
stone
go ahead and
walls,
finish up,
and the
please.
red water tower at the factory. Just want to say that we want to be at the table to continue to work with Boyle and find a solution and a way forward so that this can be positive for everyone. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Wendy Aitchison, live in Franklin Green. I want to thank the mayor and the aldermen for their service to the city of Franklin. Several of you have been serving our community for quite some time, and given the volume of the development currently underway, you certainly have your hands full. I'd like to ensure my understanding of what will take place with the Harlan PUD as approved, if approved by you. My understanding is as follows. The Harlan property owner approached the city of Franklin to annex the 311 acres. The developer of the property, Boyles, plans to build 120 homes with a cost/value of between $2 and $10 million, and 120 townhomes and condominiums with a cost value of about $1 million or more. And that is for the 240 multimillionaires that currently live in the city of Franklin, or the future multimillionaires that will come to the city of Franklin. Envision Franklin believes this project intends to provide the ability to establish a wider variety of housing options. In return, the remaining hardworking residents of the city of Franklin will have to deal with the additional traffic during construction and upon completion on Columbia Avenue, which is at least 3 years away from being expanded, Mac Hatcher from 96 to Columbia, which does not have a timeline for expansion, the Mac Hatcher expansion beyond Columbia Avenue, which is supposedly 10 plus years away and
You'll
requires
finish up, please, ma'am.
TDOT to make it their priority. And then, of course, Hillview Lane. BOMA has determined this is in the
You'll
best
finish up,
interest
Ms.
of the
Yeah.
existing residents, and I'd like to know what it is that endangers the health, safety, and welfare of inhabitants if they don't annex this property, as noted in your 2024, I'm sorry. But anyways, thank you. If you want to, I will send this information to you so you can correct me before I pass all this information along to other residents of Franklin. Thank you.
Whenever I ask you to quit, I would appreciate it if you would quit, because we do have ability to turn the microphone off. And I've announced that we have 90 seconds. So, Ms. McGinn.
Mayor and Board of Aldermen, why destroy an incredible work of nature when you have other means to avoid it? Hillview Lane was not laid out to accommodate hundreds of cars daily. Your so-called improvements of sidewalks, walking trails, and guardrails won't make it a better road, but in fact will make it more dangerous. The traffic snags at Columbia Avenue and with folks coming in and out of Parkway Commons and Tractor Supply will be quite the cluster. Add in the influx of animals being pushed off the Harlan property will only add to the congestion of the road. The pretty generated pictures of idyllic serenity that Boyle has produced doesn't paint the reality of what is actually going to happen. I have lived on this lane for 30 years and I know every twist and turn of its path. I have to reiterate that it cannot sustain the amount of traffic which the development would generate. I have contributed a fair amount to this community in order to preserve places for future generations so that they will enjoy and cherish these historic jewels as we do now. I have worked with the Heritage Foundation for 29 years in many aspects. I take preservation seriously, and if being called an elitist because of it, then I wear the label proudly. Boyle continues to intrude on our ownership of property, either with the
Thank
threats
you.
of condemnation.
My name is Gene Lovell, and I live at 1175 Hillview Lane. And first, I'd like to thank you again for your time and your service. It feels like we've been at this a long time. It sounds like it's going to be a little longer, anyhow. But over the past year or so, we've had a chance to meet with a lot of you, and I'm really grateful for that. Normally, I get up here and I do some history lesson. You know, I go back a half a century, more than that, you know, and I talk about Old Franklin, and I talk about the Columbia Avenue, I talk about growth, and I talk about the infrastructure, and I talk about traffic. And, but you know, I'm out of stories. I'm just out of stories tonight. And what I would tell you is I do believe that the primary observation I want to make is that if you, all the citizens who are directly or indirectly impacted by this development simply don't want it. You know, they just don't want it. And if you had a referendum from the Carter House to Coleman Road, it would be overwhelming, and this is just not the way to go, particularly with the congestion that we have to deal with every day. So I hope you will consider that, and certainly, and what we all of us always end with, please protect Hillview Lane. Thank you.
Hello again. I didn't receive one of those surveys, but if I had, I would have rated y'all very highly, because sitting here, seeing all the work that you do, it's a lot.
What's your name again, please?
I'm Angie Lovell,
That's what I
sorry, on Hillview Lane. And of course, like everybody else, the one thing I would have ranked low would be traffic. And that is why I'm up here. That is why I ask you to oppose the current Harlan development. I fear the negative impact it will have on congestion on Hillview Lane and Columbia Pike and Mac Hatcher. If you can't say no, please say wait. Please protect Hillview Lane. It is a curvy, dead-end road. It should be accessible only by residents who live on it. If you must annex Harlan's, please insist in writing that Hillview Lane is off limits, except for the Hillview residents and emergency access. With all those tight S-curves and blind spots, it's just not safe to add another 250 households on it. If those new households are allowed to use Hillview Lane, they will soon overrun it, because they just won't be able to resist the shortcut to Target and Kroger and all those places. So please, please protect Hillview Lane. Thank you.
Did I call Rob Dodson? Okay, thank you. The next group will be Todd Stone, Mildred Nielsen, Betsy Hester, Catherine Schuler, Lindsay Bullock, Calvin Lehue. So please line up and, I'm sorry? Oh, yeah. Okay. Todd Stone left, so we'll go to who's next. Are you Mildred? I mean, no, you're not Michael. But please come up and say who you are. I'll keep up with it.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Bullock. I am, is it my turn? I know there were
It's your
several in
turn.
front of me.
Keep
Okay.
going.
I'm a resident of Sullivan Farms, so that's Ward 3. I had a good conversation with Alderman Potts today, so thank you. I appreciate everyone who has replied to my emails and heard my feedback. I think that you have a room full of people here who would like to, for sure, delay, but hopefully oppose the annexation of this Hillview property. There are so many layers to all of the opposition that you hear tonight. Mine is traffic and safety of my children. We have 700-ish homes in Sullivan Farms, and Donaldson Creek goes right through the middle. And so half of those kids are riding their bikes across Donaldson or walking, trying to get to the pool, trying to get to the playground, trying to get to their friend's house. It's not safe now, and it will be even less safe as we add those traffic. People say, I've heard, oh, there's a traffic light going on in Lewisburg, and that's going to mitigate some traffic. I actually think it's going to make it worse. There's going to be 10 cars speeding at the same time as they get a green light. Anyways, I don't think that that's going to mitigate traffic. The traffic there, we can't handle, and so we certainly can't handle 200 to 500 cars more per day. So I ask, as the rest in this room are asking, for you to consider current residents. So thank you.
Commissioner Hester.
I'm very short, so I am Commissioner Betsy Hester. I represent District 2 in Williamson County government. I represent some people who live along Columbia Pike and who live along Hempeck Lane. I have wanted to get a traffic light at Hempeck Lane and Columbia Pike for a while. That's railroad property. And I just don't think the railroad people are going to let us put in a traffic light. Point one, you're barking up the wrong tree, I'm afraid. Traffic on Columbia Pike is horrendous. Where I live used to take 15 minutes to get into Franklin. Now I need to allocate 45 minutes to an hour. Oh, that eats up into my quality of life. When I moved here many years ago, Carnton had been used as a storehouse for cattle feed not too long ago. The Heritage Foundation and you, the leaders of the city of Franklin, have done a wonderful job in preserving our historic structures. However, once these historic passages, oh dear, are gone, they're gone forever. Thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate that privilege.
Hi, Kylan Schuler. I think you called me Catherine, but that would be me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, Kylan, thank you.
Right. I live at 103 Abercaron Drive in Sullivan Farms, and I really am opposed to the project in general, and I have three reasons. One is our history and culture. Franklin has spent millions reclaiming the battlefield, tearing down businesses, pool, golf club, Pizza Hut, Domino's, beauty salons, and relocating houses to do so. Why are we discussing destroying something that is a part of our history and culture that we will never be able to get back like we have done the battlefields? There is no way to widen Hillview Lane without destroying the tree canopy. Traffic and infrastructure. The area nearest Hillview Lane has the most dense. Common sense and human behavior conclude the majority of people will use Hillview Lane to get to Machatcher, Columbia Avenue, and the interstate. Google Maps has Donaldson Parkway as the shortest route from Hillview Lane to the interstate. This access point will double the number of cars already streaming down Donaldson Parkway. As it stands, the residents of Sullivan Farms spend the largest part of their HOA dues to maintain the road's landscaping, lighting, decorations, etc. Why do we not have an input into the amount of traffic that is on there? The people in our community who use this area do not want the development. There's a copy of the petition signatures that have been given to you. Over 600 people have signed that petition in about 4 days. There have been another 75 since 3 o'clock today. I suspect as the community becomes more aware, the petition will grow. So I just really ask you to reconsider building the Harlan property on that, or taking that into consideration. We really don't need all that traffic right there where we are. Thank you.
My name is Calvin Lehue, 103 Everbright. And I want to say that most of everything that's been said here, the last few people, of what I've said, and I'll just add that too. I appreciate what you folks have done for us here in Franklin. There was about 60-something years ago, several of us got together in my office, and we wanted to know what are we going to do with Franklin in the future and so forth. And one of the things that we said, and I really like the words, let's don't let Franklin become any town USA. Thank you. And just because of this Hillview Lane, I like the way the trees come in, nature, beauty. This is just a small part of the whole picture, but I want to thank you for, let's all save things like this. It's worth it. Thank you.
My name is not Mildred, it's Michael. I have a horrible handwriting. Sorry. My boss gets on me for that all the time.
Great handwriting, you just can't read.
Yeah, just become a doctor. I didn't know if you were able to answer questions or not.
No,
okay.
You're getting your
Then I'll-
opportunity to express your opinion.
Thank you. Then I'll stay in more of a statement form. I have a concern about the relationship between the Harlan family and the developer. It appears to me that there is a member of the Harlan family that is on staff with the developer. To me, this seems like there might be a conflict of interest there. It would be nice for an everyday citizen like me to be able to see that and be able to go through some of the documentation to see that there is no conflict of interest and that it's all above board. So, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next group will be Blair Garner, Evelyn Miller, Janet Curtis, Karen Smith, Mark Mendolia, Abby Coutant, and lastly would be Greg Gamble. So, please.
Good evening, Blair Garner, Hillview Lane. Basically, I think I've said the same thing for the past 4 or 5 months. I don't have a lot new to add, other than the fact every one of my neighbors has been saying the same thing. The city of Franklin, the county, we should be supporting the people who live here, not the people who might live here someday. If nobody wants it who lives here now, how can it possibly be good for the city? Other than that, thank you.
Hi. Hello, Mayor Moore and each of our board aldermen. My name is Evelyn Miller, and I'm a proud citizen of our beautiful city of Franklin, Tennessee. We have lived here for over 15 years and enjoy the natural beauty that our area offers. Everything from hiking to our everyday drives, just seeing the grass. It makes us smile and such proud citizens like each of you. The proposed Harlan PUD includes 242 additional homes, mix of estate lots, alley-loaded cottages, townhomes, and condo flats, 80 key boutique hotels, and due to these numbers, it is estimated that there will be an additional 240 to 418 additional vehicles on our already congested Columbia Avenue, especially during rush hour. This additional traffic on our already congested roads will lessen our quality of daily life for all those who live and work near Columbia Avenue, and especially on the southern end of Mac Hatcher. For this reason, as of 7:30, 3 minutes ago, 722 fellow citizens have voted to halt the Harlan PUD plan. As a neighbor, friend, and citizen of our great city of Franklin, I ask you as well, please vote no, especially prior to the completion and the expansion of Columbia Avenue and Mac Hatcher. Thank you very much for your time, and each of you have a blessed day. Bye.
Did Miss Curtis leave? Oh, there she is. I'm sorry. Podium's blocking you, Miss Curtis.
My name is Janet Curtis. I live on North Chapel Road in Franklin. Hillview Lane is a beautiful, picturesque road that the Heritage Foundation has found worthy of saving. It is part of the Heritage Road program. The program states the following. The Heritage Foundation of Williamson County is proud to present our Heritage Road program, a comprehensive initiative designed to identify, protect, and preserve the scenic roadways that define our county's unique character. These roads, steeped in history and natural beauty, reflect the agricultural origins and historic charm that make Williamson County a special place. Why on earth would you want to change anything about Hillview Lane, since the Heritage Foundation thought enough of the road to list it on the Heritage Road program so that it could be preserved for all time? I sent each of you a letter and pictures of Columbia Avenue in the middle of the day. It cannot handle the current traffic of the daily basis, certainly will not handle the additional traffic the project will be putting on this road. You also need to consider the traffic that is currently traveling on the unsafe road, Hillview Avenue, due to it being narrow and curvy, and how much more you will be adding to it. I am requesting that you do not vote in favor of this, although you won't be voting tonight, but to take it under advisement before you do vote for this annexation of the property and the destruction to Hillview Road. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Karen Smith and I live on North Chapel Road. And I know many of you all are a big proponent of the 70-30 Village Green Plan. So I'm here to talk a little bit more about that and maybe dive deeper into what that plan really means. Maybe it can be better than what we've seen so far. For example, the 70% open space has a major road, Farron Way, running right down the middle of the open space. Trees will be cut down and pavement will be poured. How does this fit with preserving the rural beauty of the open space? To me, it looks like it's a setup for Harlan Phase 2 development. I think the road should be a walking trail lined with berry bushes and native flowers, not a major road in the open space. Look closer at that open space. The 30% density of housing units does not fit with the single-family homes in that area. How many of those homes will be affordable workforce housing? 0. Okay, so why not consider something else? Why not look at single-family homes, 1 acre or 5 acre lots? It fits with the character of the area. This is even a bigger idea from a crazy lady. Maybe the whole area is an extension of Winstead Hill Park. Wouldn't that be wonderful to preserve our Civil War history? Why not capitalize on being proud of preserving our heritage? I know this is crazy talk, but I just implore you all to think outside the box. Look a little bit closer at the 70-30 and what we're getting back and what we're giving. Okay, thank you for delaying, and maybe you'll have time to reconsider some of these points. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abby Coutant. I live at 1801 Shadow Green Drive. As the gentleman who opened up the meeting today with the invocation, praying for wisdom for the decision-making for you all, I just want to reiterate that I pray for wisdom too. I pray, Lord, that the wisdom here wouldn't be driven by money and profits. There's a lot of money to be made by individuals and corporations for this development. I ask that you would just consider the wisdom of preserving a historical lane and for your constituents who already live here and who care about this city. And I ask that you would just take us seriously in all of these things, and that would be a city not driven by profits or development, but thoughtful development. And also, I promise you, if you save a historical road like Hillview Lane, the blessings upon this county and this city will far exceed anything else. Thank you.
Good evening, Mark Mendolia, 448 Mackenzie Way. I would just ask all of you to do 3 things. I'd ask you to look at the data. I'd ask you to listen to the constituents, and finally, I'd ask you to take a beat and feel what happens. To look at the data, to look at the survey that you sent out, and find out what people are looking for. It's very difficult to act on that data when it's just been collected. I'd ask you to listen to the constituents. I'm part of New Franklin, so you'll pardon my hypocrisy, but we want to move here, and that's important, but to listen to the constituents and the continuing groundswell of sentiment around development and what the residents have to say that you all serve, and we thank you for that. And then finally, I'd ask you just take a beat and feel what happens. As I drive around Franklin, I see developments everywhere, in North Franklin and South Franklin and otherwise. And just like if I were to start a diet, or just if I was to implement something new at work or otherwise, sometimes you have to wait and see what happens before you can plan what happens next, before you can understand what the implications would be. Let's watch some of these other things grow and understand what they do before we plan the next thing, because we can go into planning and they can be on the ground with shovels in no time. But let's see what happens in this city before we take another chance to make a change. let's just slow down, take a beat, and understand what that's going to look like. So just listen to that data, feel what's happening in Franklin, listen to your constituents, and take a breath and see what happens. Thank you much.
Thank you, Mayor and Alderman. My name is Greg Gamble, and I'm a land planning consultant for Boyle. And Boyle has filed the first Village Green Concept master plan from Envision Franklin. However, Boyle has been a development partner with the City of Franklin for over 20 years. They understand about infrastructure. They understand about contributing to infrastructure. They understand about the timing of infrastructure. Boyle is contributing about 3 to 4 times the amount of money to roadway infrastructure with the Harlan development than the $4.5 million roadway impact fees that are generated by the developer and by the development. We've had a lot of compliments about the master plan from the Planning Commission and from the aldermen. The fact that there are only 0.66 homes per acre in the master plan. This is about 75 homes less than the entitlement of 1 home per acre in the county, and the 1 house for every 5 acres in the 68 acres that's along Coleman Road. This is about designing an appropriate neighborhood using the Village Green concept, and we're excited to be the first to be able to do that. Boyle has hired a traffic engineer. That traffic engineer is a licensed professional in the state of Tennessee. We submitted to the City of Franklin Engineering Department. They reviewed that traffic study. Then Boyle had to hire a third-party traffic engineer for the city. And then we submitted the traffic study to the county. And then Boyle had to hire a third-party traffic engineer for the county. We've had 5 different professionals review a very, very intense and complicated traffic analysis. With this traffic analysis, there were conditions that were put on this as far as when certain connections needed to be made, what improvements needed to come first, and that resulted in condition number 30 in the development plan. We have been reviewing this with engineering staff, talking with our consultant team. We believe we can add strength to this condition 30 so that we have a better time frame and better relationship to other improvements that are going on in the area, such as the Columbia Avenue improvement, intersections of Mac Hatcher and Columbia Avenue. We'd like to bring that forward to you in August at the work session. And we would like to defer the voting tonight for 5 through 11, I believe, Mayor, to that same date for the 7 o'clock voting meeting on August the 12th. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? If not, I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion to defer to August 12th.
Motion to defer to August the 12th.
Second.
Second by Alderman Brown. Any discussion?
I would like to take a moment. This is in the ward. Over the last couple of days, I know that there's been a lot of back and forth. When we started out on this, I believe it was a joint conceptual workshop. One of the main things I said from the start was Hillview Lane is important. I heard many other aldermen say that as well. Preserving that, making sure that it is not damaged is important. We've let the process go through. There's continued to be conversation, and I'm hopeful that with this delay, there's going to be a real solution to not have Hillview Lane disturbed. It takes time, and those that might not believe in that, you can wait and see. And I'm hopeful. It's our job to wait and give our opinions to the applicant and allow them to make adjustments. So we're hopeful for that. A couple of other things we've heard. Infrastructure before development. I mean, that happened, every comment. We're taking that to heart, or I'm taking that to heart. I can't speak for everyone else. And I think Boyle has heard that loud and clear, and they've heard it from us. So we're going to let them work on what that looks like and how Columbia Avenue's completion and Hillview Lane and Mac Hatcher, how that all plays in this condition number 30. Again, see folks that you just might not think that's possible. And maybe it's not. But it's our job to make sure that we get what we've heard from our citizens and the residents we represent and advocate for that. And that's what you, I think, see happening with this deferral. and look forward to the applicant engaging with the citizens directly impacted with whatever they come up with in these changes, and then bringing that forward so that the public is aware of all those changes, and really it's clear. And then we'll get to decide, what if that matches the spirit of Franklin and what this Board of Mayor and Aldermen is doing. And so that's what we're trying to do. I think it will be productive for us to take a breath rather, on this and let that transpire. So that's why I'd like to defer.
Alderman Brown, you're recognized.
Yeah, I would second that. I think over the last 48 hours, a lot of activity has happened, a lot of conversations have happened, a lot of time has been spent in those conversations. And I think, I guess what I would say is understand this. We've been trying to, well, I'll just speak for myself, trying to understand the balance between the trade-offs, and what we control and what we can't control. It's not 242 homes in an 80-key hotel and nothing, because it's 242 homes in an 80-key hotel or 289 homes in an 80-key hotel if it's developed in the county. So you actually have more dwelling units and you still get an 80-key hotel if we say no and it's developed in the county. And we lose the control over what we can do with Hillview Lane because it becomes the main artery on its own. We also lose the ability to protect Hilltop. Go drive out to Fairview, by the way. Look up after you go under the Natchez Bridge and look up at the Hilltop where they've clear cut it and put a house up there. It's gross. It's actually sad. And we lose a $20 million investment to fix Columbia Avenue and Mac Hatcher, which starts on day one to help us with Thompson Station development that we get no road impact fees for. It helps us to maybe push TDOT to say, hey, we're being serious here. And we have a $25 million gap in that project that might actually help close a gap. So it's not that we're saying, hey, we're not listening. What we're trying to actually help protect from is it's not 242 homes in an 80-key hotel, or if we say no, nothing happens to that. It is the county zoning that is in place right now would allow 289 homes in an 80-key hotel. South Hall Farms is a hotel. Or, by the way, if they don't do the hotel, it'd be 300 and some homes. You're still going to have the traffic, but we don't have the ability to control Hillview Lane. We don't have the ability to control an intersection that we can't improve with $20 million worth of infrastructure. And we don't have the ability to control the hilltops. I just don't want us to make a mistake where we can't control and help. And then 3 years from now, everybody sits in this room and says, man, what in the world did we just do? We got all of the bad and none of the good. And that's a purview that we have the ability to see. I mean, we are really seriously spending time in this. And so I think this extra time is going to be really helpful to make sure, and I want to go out and have those conversations. Are we really making sure that we're not having the wrong trade-offs here? Because those trade-offs are very real. That is the zoning that is currently in place in the county if we said no today. So I'm looking forward to having the time here to make sure that we don't say no, and the wrong intention is that we actually we do the wrong thing. So.
It's build to zone.
And it's build to zone, yeah.
No, let's say county.
Yeah. They don't have to get it rezoned. That is the zoning today, M1 and M5. Yeah.
Okay, any other comments from the board? Ready to vote?
I've got one more.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, sir. First, I want to thank everybody who came out and spoke tonight. Appreciate your professionalism and following the guidelines that the mayor presented. I also want to thank, I probably spent 6+ hours a day on the phone and email speaking with many of you. I spent another hour and a half going over the project details and learning more about what Boyle and the development team wants to do and why they've requested this deferral until August. I would continue to ask Boyle and the development team the same thing that I've asked since day one, and that is make sure that the citizens of Franklin have the facts. I heard tonight when some of the individuals at the podium we're talking about workforce and affordable housing, and they stated a detail there that did not align with the detail that was provided in your proposal packet. So I would ask that you take the additional time to schedule meetings with, I heard some people from Sullivan Farms today, which is in Ward 3. I've heard some individuals out of Polk Place that are also in Ward 3 that are concerned. I will help to be the conduit to make sure that those meetings can help to take place and that the facts are presented to the residents, that they're accurate. That's one of the most important things, is because when there's misinformation that's out there or disinformation that's out there, it's not good for the general community. So I would continue to ask that of Boyle. I would also ask this is, as we talk about preserving Hillview Lane and what that will look like in the future, I've said this since the very first day that this came before the Joint Conceptual Workshop, is my concern about coming out off of Coleman Road, going to Columbia Avenue, and then going down Henpeck Lane is, what is that volume? What's the balance of that traffic going to be? Because not everybody's going to take the same routes. Not everybody's going to the same locations. And so gaining that, as you quoted, the five professional traffic professionals that were hired, is making sure that information is being presented, is being shared with the public. I want to make sure, because I feel a lot of partial pieces of information during discussions and at the podium tonight. So that would be my ask for Boyle, and thank you.
Ready to vote? Alderman
Say one
Berger.
thing. I too want to thank everyone for coming out tonight and for being so measured in your comments and very sincere, which I know you are. And I hope that you understand and do feel and do hear the sincerity of our board. Everybody here on this board, and I will speak, I think, for all of us, because I know my colleagues and I know how much we care about Franklin. And there are a lot of things happening in growth that is just, coming at us. And communities that are growing have the same problems over and over and over. And some of them don't deal with it so well. And actually, I think we're dealing with it very well, with a lot of challenges. And but it's really important that we do hear from you and that you express yourself. And I will reiterate what Alderman Potts said, that make sure that you have the facts right, because I've heard some things here tonight too that were not quite correct, but most of it was. But I just want to caution on that one. I was on a plane today for many, many hours, and although I couldn't be on the phone, I could be on text, and I've texted back and forth a lot of you and emailed a lot of you. I spent a number of hours doing that, and I really appreciate you reaching out. And if I didn't get back to you, please know that I've been away for a little while, and but I did get your emails. I did read them all, and I tried to get back to most of the people. I know some of you I have not gotten back to. But I think Columbia Avenue has got to be addressed. I think there are some things that definitely we can do with Columbia Avenue. There are some things that have not even been talked about here that are solutions to Columbia Avenue, Henpeck, and Coleman Road. Very, very good solutions, actually. So I'm with my other colleagues up here who said that we do need to take a breath. We take this time. The developer, Mr. Gamble, all of them are going to go to work and try to solve some other issues. And I do appreciate the fact that Ms. Beasley, that you came and spoke tonight, and that Mr. Leahy, that you were here. You've given, and Ms. McGinn, you've given so much to our community. You have invested your lives in our community. You've given, and given of your money, your time, your efforts. And I just want everyone to know that we do not take any of this lightly. I do not take any of this lightly. And I look forward to what we have in August. Thank you.
Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Deferred to August 12th. Item 6 is a public hearing, consideration resolution 2025-25, a resolution to annex one property consisting of 311.21 acres located west of Hillview Lane, north of Coleman Road at 1247 Hillview Lane, and not adjoining the city limits within the southern part of the Franklin urban growth boundary. Does anyone want to speak to this body? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion to defer until August the 12th, 2025. Appropriate motion. Thank you, Alderman Blanton.
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion on the annexation? Seeing none, you ready to vote? To defer to August the 12th. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 7, this is public hearing consideration ordinance 2025-06, an ordinance to zone 311.21 acres to Plan PD per 32,000 per 80 district and Hillside Hillcrest Overlay District for the property located west of Hillview Lane, north of Coleman Road at 1247 Hillview Lane. Is there anyone who wants to speak to this body on the zoning or the deferral? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to defer to August the 12th, 2025.
So moved.
Thank you, Alderman Berger. Is there a second by Alderman Brown. Any discussion? Ready to vote. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 8, this is a public hearing consideration resolution 2025-26, resolution approving a development plan for Harlan PUD subdivision with 15 modifications to development standards for the property located west of Hillview Lane and north of Coleman Road at 1247 Hillview Lane. Does anyone want to speak to this body? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and entertain a motion to defer to August the 12th, 2025. Thank
Move
you,
to
Alderman
defer.
Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll now go to item number 9, which is City of Franklin contract number 2025-0158 with Bull Nashville LLC for a road impact fee offset agreement for an amount not to exceed $4,647,999. I'd ask for deferral to August the 12th in a motion.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Alderman Blanton, seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 10, consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2025-0110 with Boyle Investment Company for parkland impact fee and construction agreement for Harlan PUD. I would ask for a deferral to August the 12th. Is there a motion?
I move to defer to August 12th.
Thank you, Vice
Second.
Mayor. Second by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 11, consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2025-0041, an interlocal agreement for the non-contiguous annexation between Williamson County, Tennessee, City of Franklin, Tennessee for the performance of road work for portions of Hillview Lane and Coleman Road. I ask for a motion to defer to August the 12th.
So move. Second.
Second by Alderman Barnhill, motion by the Vice Mayor.
Yeah, there's some Mayor,
Go ahead, Alderman Baggett.
understanding we're trying to keep all these together, but I'll reiterate for those that weren't here in the first meeting, I'm not in favor of this,
The next one.
the next item on the agenda.
Who's tired here?
You didn't even make it to item 11 tonight, Alderman Baggett. Hey, I'll recognize you on, yeah. So are you ready to vote on item number 11? Okay, well, let's go then. I'm going to start with Alderman Baggett.
Thank you. Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll now go to item number 12, which is Resolution 2025-54, resolution to request authority from Williamson County to condemn certain portions of Coleman Road.
And I'll move to deny.
Appropriate motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Brown. Any discussion? Alderman Berger. I see all of you in a row, but I'm going to go to Alderman Baggett.
And I moved to deny because of the comments made in the previous meeting. I understand the staff's logic here. I think there is a perception that this resolution is the city getting the ability or wanting the ability to condemn county property. I want to make it clear that is not what this board is wanting to do. If and when the applicant identifies property on Coleman Road or anywhere else that needs to be accessed for a road and whatnot, then they can bring it forward at that time. But as of now, the applicant has identified to us that there is not a need for that. Interesting point that Commissioner Hester brought up too, that I think the parcels need to be explored. So I would move to deny this, and I see no reason why this could not be brought back up in August or even in September or whenever necessary. There's really nothing that ties this to that, but I think for the community to understand, I would like for the community to understand that is not the intention of this board as directed by this ordinance. So should something come back, bring it back and it be more specific so the community knows the parcels of land at issue. And then I think this board would probably feel, or I would feel better, I'll speak for myself, about that kind of authority.
Ready to vote? Alderman Baggett, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts?
Yes.
This is a motion to deny.
Correct.
To understand. Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Alderman Caesar?
Yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
And Alderman Barnhill?
Yes.
Motion is denied. The action is denied. 13, this is a public hearing consideration resolution 2025-37, a resolution amending the East-West District PUD subdivision to extend the vested rights for the property located north of Meridian Boulevard and west of Carruthers Parkway, located at 9009 Carruthers Parkway.
Well, good evening, everyone. This item, I'm going to throw a little wrench in your plan. It no longer needs a vesting extension. They have met their first milestone in the last week and a half, so the applicant is ready to withdraw this item tonight.
And
the applicant is here if you have any questions for them.
And I've got a speaker card for Mr. Melton if he wants to say anything.
Thank you, Mayor Moore and everyone. I really just wanted to come over here to say thank you to everybody. Everybody's very kind to meet with me on this particular issue. Earlier this year, we were very concerned about our inability to secure an easement from an adjacent property owner. We had no path to getting there at the time, which is why staff advised us to go ahead and ask for the extension. I'm pleased to report that since the Planning Commission meeting in May, we were able to secure that easement. We have pulled our grading permit and we have commenced site preparation activities on the property. So we're good in terms of the vesting that we'd requested, but more than anything, appreciate the support of this group and that of staff to help us through this process. We're awfully excited to continue on the path to redevelop that part of Cool Springs and being a part of this community. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mr. Melton. So I'm going to close the public hearing unless there's other people that want to speak, and there's no action required. And we'll go on to item number 14, which is consideration of ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance to rezone 19.43 acres from civic institutional district to heavy industrial district for the property located north of Century Court and west of Beasley Drive at 408 Century Court. Establishing a public hearing August the 12th.
Move for approval.
Second.
Alderman Brown, thank you for the second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Alderman Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
And Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 15 is consideration of resolution 2025-45. A resolution to annex one property consisting of 10.58 acres located west of Lewisburg Pike, south of Henpeck Lane, 1288 Lewisburg Pike, and not adjoining the city limits within the southern part of the Franklin urban growth boundary. Established a public hearing August the 12th. That's going to be a fun night. Is there a motion? Thank you, Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Caesar. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 16, consideration of ordinance 2025-17, an ordinance to zone 10.58 acre civic institutional district for the property located west of Lewisburg Pike, south of Henpeck Lane, and 1288 Lewisburg Pike. Established a public hearing on August the 12th. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Seconded by Alderman Peterson. It's good to hear from you over there.
And let's say, we didn't say on the other one, this is the Gateway Church.
Thank you. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 17, consideration resolution to amend the special assessment district for the sanitary sewer improvements in the Monticello subdivision area. Established a public hearing. You guessed it, August the 12th. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Second by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 18 is resolution 2025-56, authorizing the city administrator to execute a contract with Preservation Partners for the purchase of the Creekside House parcel in an amount not to exceed $2,025,000. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Alderman Baggett. Is there a second? Alderman Brown, thank you.
Mayor, we've had a lot of issues, a lot of difficult, hard things in this boardroom tonight, and we don't do this enough. And I'm learning now as I'm on the campaign trail and talking to folks that there is sometimes a disconnect between all the amazing things this board does and what the community knows about. We got to take time to celebrate the fact that this is the final piece of 45 acres at the corner of Mac Hatcher and Franklin Road, an antebellum 1840s home that was scheduled and slated for over 100 houses, multiplexes and whatever else they were going to put there. The city of Franklin, and actually the citizens of the city of Franklin, stepped up. The city, and thank you to Eric and staff for it was a 2-year process. This is the first antebellum home that the city of Franklin has ever bought. We don't own all of our historic structures that you get to enjoy. The city of Franklin doesn't own them except for a couple in Harlansdale. But none of our big houses. This board, we'll talk about preservation and a long-lasting history for this board. It's the corner of Mac Hatcher and Franklin Road. It is one of many. Just over the hill, there's another 70 acres that this board preserved. Roper's Knob, Civil War Fort, over 100 acres in that quadrant. So while we deal with hard things on development, this board has taken really landmark action for 20 years. I mean, 20 years, I think that the largest purchase was 20 years prior of this kind of land preservation. And if we don't get to pat ourselves on the backs for something like this, and normally this would, Mayor, you were just about to call it and let's move on, and that's okay. But this is huge, and this is huge for that corridor. Is one more piece in preserving that rural corridor of Franklin Road. So we got other say that 5 times fast, rural corridors that we got to preserve, and we heard about some of those tonight. But thank you, board, for this. It was, and thank you, staff. And thank you, Preservation Partners. I'm fired
Anybody
up.
else? Alderman Caesar.
I think we talk a lot about preserving places and things and structures, and we have to be cognizant as we support this movement that we're not only preserving structures and places, that we're also preserving areas in the community, not just in the north of the community, but in the south and the west. And it's not lost on me that Mac Hatcher in this quadrant is a 4-lane road. And we're protecting and preserving this area right alongside a 4-lane road, preserving the ability for people to travel freely on that road. And I'm excited to vote in favor of this tonight, and I'm excited and appreciative of the work that Eric and staff has done to get this from where it was to where it is now. Gosh, I wish we had won the part across the road from this. But let's tonight stop for a moment and celebrate the victory of this piece and acknowledge that we do invest in preserving not only buildings, but we preserve areas, not only areas in the north of the town, but we also preserve areas and roadways potentially in the future in the south of the town.
Alderman Berger.
Greg, you mentioned, about across the street. Well, we did save that. It was slated for a lot of houses. It's going to be a church. Yeah. And it'll have a lot of open space on that corner, so I think we're doing okay. But really appreciate your comments, all of you.
Okay, to clarify what the motion is it's a resolution 2025-56, but the motion should reflect that the amount of money is $2,025,000, and it's authorizing the city administrator to execute the contract. So I just wanted to clarify the amount of money to make sure everything's okay with that. If everybody's okay, we're going to vote. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Consideration of change order 1 to City of Franklin contract number 2023-0335 with Jones Brothers Contractors for the Jordan Road Improvements Project, resulting in a cost increase of $37,709.62.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Alderman.
Second.
Second by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
And Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 20 is consideration of Amendment 1 to City of Franklin Contract 2023-0033 with Axon Enterprise, Inc. for public safety surveillance solutions with related equipment, software, and accessories. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Thank you. Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote?
Well, so somebody want to just say a word about that? Maybe Eric, one of you, just to say, because this is the voting session and people hear safety surveillance solutions. Could you just
This is
give the public
again,
notice of
we
that?
talked about the work session, but
Yeah, right, I know.
it supports the body worn cameras that our officers have, the in dash cameras that they also have, and how it links with our broader system to have those recordings in place that document the work of our officers. So
Thank you.
this is just a 10-year extension of a long-standing relationship we've had. We were one of the first departments in Tennessee to have body worn cameras and have had dash cameras for a couple decades now. So this is something our team supports, and this is a vital system to help us do it.
Yep, thank you so much.
Modeled it for us. Ryan did a great
Yep. I'm sorry I missed the work session, but I just thought if there's somebody who are watching at home and they don't understand what surveillance systems is, they might want to know. So thank you. Thank you.
Alderman Baggett, you want to be recognized?
Saves $30,000 a year on the contract too. So that's over 10 years.
Ready to vote? Alderman Baggett. Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 21 is reappointment of Tony Moriali and Marianne Holmes to the Civil War Historic
Marlene.
Commission.
Marlene. Marlene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Morial.
Yeah.
Morial and Marlene.
Yeah.
Well, they are getting be a little blurred here. So, move
Second.
approval by the vice mayor. Is
Oh,
there a
second,
second?
second.
Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Let's vote. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll now go to reappointment of Eric McElroy to the Franklin Transit Authority. Is there a motion?
Move.
Thank
Second.
you. Seconded by Alderman Baggett. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Alderman Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 23 is appointment of Deanna Lambert to the Franklin Transit Authority. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton. Alderman Caesar.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Brown.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Potts.
Yes.
Alderman Baggett.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. I must tell you tonight that every vote has been unanimous. And I think, I hope the next vote that we have tonight might be unanimous.
Motion
And we're
to
gonna find
adjourn.
out.
Second.
Thank you, second. All in favor, say
Aye. I think that's a record.
Opposed?